The first thing I noticed wasn't the suitcases on the lawn. It was the way Pierce stood in the doorway, shoulders back, chin up, like he was posing for some invisible camera. Behind him, Veronica perched on the porch steps with her arms crossed, wearing that satisfied smirk I'd seen 1,000 times before. My name is Gwendolyn, and I'd just come home from grocery shopping to find my entire life scattered across the front yard. What's going on? I asked, setting down the bags. A can of tomatoes rolled toward the driveway. We need to talk, Pierce said, not moving from the doorway, not helping with the groceries, not even looking at the mess. About what? And why are my clothes? I want a divorce. The words hit like a slap. I stood there, car keys still in my hand, watching a neighbor slow down as they walked their dog. Mrs. Patterson from across the street had stopped watering her flowers. Pierce, what are you talking about? Don't make this harder than it needs to be. He stepped down, and I noticed he'd changed the locks. New brass deadbolt, still shiny. I've been thinking about this for months. Months? My voice cracked. You've been thinking about divorce for months and didn't tell me? Veronica finally spoke up. Oh, honey, you had to know this was coming. I turned to face her. Excuse me? A man needs a partner, not a burden. She stood up, smoothing her skirt. Pierce deserves someone who contributes, someone who brings home a paycheck instead of just spending his money. Spending his money? I laughed, but it came out sharp and bitter. I haven't spent a dime of Pierce's money in... The renovations, Pierce interrupted. The kitchen remodel, the master bathroom, the deck. $40,000, Gwen. $40,000 of my money so you could play house. Play house? I stared at him. I managed every contractor, every permit, with my credit cards. You think I used your credit cards? I set my purse down slowly. You actually think I used your money for the renovations? I know you did. He pulled out his phone. I have the statements right here. Every transaction. Veronica nodded approvingly. She's been bleeding you dry for years, sweetheart. Thank God you finally see it. I looked between them, my husband of 15 years and the woman who'd been whispering poison in his ear since our wedding day. They stood there like a united front, like they'd rehearsed this moment. Where am I supposed to go? I asked. That's not my problem anymore. Pierce's voice was cold. You'll figure it out. You're resourceful when you want to be. What about Faith? Faith stays with me. She needs stability. I'm her mother. You're unemployed, Veronica said. What judge is going to give custody to someone with no income? I felt something shift inside me. A door closing, maybe, or opening. So that's it? 15 years and you're just throwing me out? You'll get what you're legally entitled to, Pierce said, which isn't much, considering you never contributed financially to this marriage. Never contributed financially. I repeated the words slowly. That's what you think? I know it. He crossed his arms. You gave up your career to play housewife. That was your choice. My choice. I nodded. Right. I walked to my car, ignoring the scattered belongings, the neighbors pretending not to stare. The way Veronica's smile grew wider with each step I took. Gwen, Pierce called out, I need your keys, house keys, garage remote, everything. I turned back. He held out his hand expectantly. I dropped the keys into his palm. Check the mail, I said. What? Check the mail, Pierce. There should be something from Jerome's law office. Arrived this morning. His face changed, just slightly. Jerome Craig? Why would your college friend be sending me mail? Oh, he's not just my college friend anymore. I got in my car. He's my attorney, has been for 3 months. Through the windshield, I watched Pierce's confident expression start to crack. Veronica stepped closer to him, her smirk fading. What did you do? Pierce asked. I started the engine. I prepared for war. As I drove away, I saw him in the rearview mirror, walking quickly toward the mailbox. Veronica followed, her heels clicking on the pavement. I'd been planning this moment for 97 days, ever since I'd overheard Pierce on the phone with someone named Natalia, promising her that the old ball and chain would be gone soon. They thought they were so clever. They thought I was just the helpless housewife who'd roll over and disappear. They had no idea what was coming. I pulled into Jerome's driveway and sat there for a moment, hands shaking on the steering wheel. My phone buzzed with a text from Pierce. "Call me now." I deleted it without reading the rest. Jerome opened his front door before I even knocked. "How did it go?" "Exactly like you said it would." I followed him inside. He thinks I'm broke and desperate. And Veronica? Practically dancing on the porch. I sank into his couch. They changed the locks, Jerome. Threw my stuff on the lawn like I was some deadbeat tenant. He poured 2 glasses of wine. "Tell me what Pierce said about the renovations." "That I spent $40,000 of his money playing house." I took a sip. He actually pulled out his phone to show me the credit card statements. Jerome smiled. "Did you tell him about your grandmother's inheritance?" "Not yet. Let him think he's won for a few more hours." My phone rang. Pierce again. I declined the call. "He's probably reading the legal documents right now," Jerome said. "Want to walk through it again? Make sure you're ready for what comes next?" I nodded. "Start from the beginning." Jerome pulled out a thick folder. October 2019. Your grandmother Eleanor passes away and leaves you $200,000. Which I never told Pierce about, because you knew Veronica would find a way to get her hands on it. He flipped through pages. You used that money to purchase the house outright, then took out a mortgage in both your names to give Pierce the illusion he was contributing. The deed shows me as the primary owner with 72% equity. Correct. Then came the renovations. You paid for everything with your inheritance money, but you were smart about it. I remembered those months clearly. I had the contractors bill Pierce's credit cards, then I immediately paid them off from my secret account. Every single payment documented and traced back to your grandmother's inheritance. Jerome smiled. Pierce thinks he paid for those renovations, but legally you funded every penny. My phone buzzed with another text, then another. He's panicking, I said. Good, let him panic. Jerome closed the folder. The best part is the fraud angle. By claiming ownership of property he didn't pay for, by threatening to evict you from your own home, he's committed several crimes. What about Faith? We'll file for full custody tomorrow. Pierce's financial deception won't look good to a judge. The doorbell rang. Jerome and I looked at each other. That was fast, he said. Through the window, I saw Pierce's car in the driveway. He was pacing on the front porch, phone pressed to his ear. Let me handle this, Jerome said, but I was already walking to the door. I opened it. Pierce's face was red, his hair disheveled. What the hell is this? He waved the legal documents. Some kind of joke? Hello, Pierce. You look upset. You can't own the house. I bought that house. I pay the mortgage. You pay a mortgage, yes, but you didn't buy the house. I stepped onto the porch. I did. With what money? You don't have money. I had $200,000 from my grandmother. The same grandmother you and Veronica convinced me not to visit in her final months because she was too negative. His mouth opened and closed like a fish. Every renovation, every upgrade, every improvement you're so proud of, I paid for it, with my money, while you took credit. That's impossible. I have the credit card statements, which I paid off immediately from my personal account. Jerome has all the bank records. Pierce looked past me to where Jerome stood in the doorway. This is fraud. You can't just... Actually, Pierce, fraud is exactly what you committed. Jerome stepped forward. By claiming ownership of property you didn't purchase, by threatening to evict the legal owner, by hiding assets during a marriage. I didn't hide anything. The offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands suggest otherwise. Pierce went pale. How did you know about those? I've known for 2 years. I smiled. I know about a lot of things, Pierce, including Natalia. He stumbled backward. Gwen, I can explain. No need. My lawyer will be in touch about the wrongful eviction lawsuit, and the fraud charges, and the custody hearing. You can't take Faith from me. Watch me. Pierce's phone rang. He answered it without looking away from me. What? No, I can't come to the office right now. I'm dealing with... His face changed. What do you mean the IRS called? I turned to go back inside. Gwen, wait. We can work this out. We can... No, Pierce, we can't. I paused at the door. You wanted me gone because you thought I was worthless. Now you get to find out what your life looks like without the woman who built it. I closed the door and locked it. Through the window, I watched him stand there for a long moment before walking back to his car. Feel good? Jerome asked. It's just the beginning. 3 days later, I was setting up my laptop in Jerome's guest room when my phone rang. Faith's name flashed on the screen. Mom? Her voice was small, shaky. Hey, sweetheart, how are you holding up? Can you come get me, please? I sat up straighter. What's wrong? Grandma Veronica keeps saying things about you. Horrible things. And Dad just sits there and lets her. What kind of things? She said you're a gold digger who never loved Dad. She said you're trying to steal our house because you're jealous of his success. Faith's voice cracked. She said you abandoned me. My hands clenched into fists. Faith, listen to me. None of that is true. I know, Mom, I know, but she won't stop. She follows me around the house, saying it over and over. Dad told her to back off, but then she started crying about how you're going to destroy the family. Where's your father now? He left an hour ago. Said he had to meet with lawyers. Grandma's making dinner and talking to herself about how she always knew you were trouble. I grabbed my keys. I'm coming to get you. You can't. Dad changed the locks, remember? And he said if you come to the house, he'll call the police. He can't keep you from seeing me, Faith. I'm your mother. I know, but... She lowered her voice. Mom, there's something else. I heard Dad and Natalia fighting last night. My blood went cold. Natalia was at the house? Yeah. She's been staying in the guest room since you left. But last night they were yelling in Dad's office. She was saying something about how this wasn't the plan, and Dad was telling her to calm down. What plan? I don't know. But she said something about her father being angry, and then she said your name. I pulled into the driveway of a coffee shop near Faith's school. Faith, I need you to listen carefully. Can you get out of the house without Veronica noticing? Maybe. She's watching her shows in the living room. There's a Starbucks on Maple Street, 2 blocks from your school. Can you walk there? I think so. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Okay. Mom? Yeah? I'm scared. I know, baby. But everything's going to be okay, I promise. I hung up and called Jerome. They're using Faith as a weapon, I said when he answered. What happened? Veronica's emotionally abusing her, and Pierce is letting it happen. I pulled out of the parking lot. I'm going to get her. Gwen, be careful. If Pierce calls the police, let him. I'm not leaving my daughter in that house with those people. I found Faith sitting in the corner of the Starbucks, hood up, looking smaller than her 16 years. She jumped up when she saw me. Mom! She threw her arms around me. It's okay. You're safe now. I held her tight. Tell me exactly what Veronica said. We sat down, and Faith pulled out her phone. I recorded some of it. She played the audio. Veronica's voice came through clearly. Your mother is a manipulative woman who never worked a day in her life. She's trying to steal everything your father built because she's too lazy to build her own life. She abandoned you, Faith. She chose money over her own daughter. I felt sick. How long has she been saying things like this? Since the day you left. Dad told her to stop, but she waits until he's not around. Faith wiped her eyes. She said you're going to lose in court because no judge will give custody to an unemployed woman. Faith, I need you to know something. I didn't abandon you. I would never abandon you. I know, Mom. I know you wouldn't. And I'm not unemployed. I'm starting my own design consultancy. I already have 3 clients lined up. Her eyes widened. Really? Really, I've been working on it for months. I took her hands. Your father and grandmother want you to think I'm helpless, but I'm not. I'm going to fight for you. What about the house? Dad says you're trying to steal it. I'm not stealing anything. I own that house, Faith. I bought it with money my grandmother left me. Grandma Eleanor? But Dad said, your father has been lying about a lot of things, including the money he's been hiding from our family. Faith stared at me. What money? Money he put in secret accounts. Money that should have been used for your college fund, for our family's future. He's been stealing from us? In a way, yes. My phone buzzed. Pierce was calling. Don't answer it, Faith said quickly. Why? Because he's tracking your location through my phone. He'll know I'm with you. I stared at her. He's tracking you? He installed some app after you left. Says it's for my safety, but... She shrugged. Turn off your phone, right now. She powered it down. What do we do now? Now we go see Jerome, and then we file for emergency custody. Will it work? I looked at my daughter, my smart, brave daughter who'd been living in a house full of lies and manipulation for 3 days. It has to work, Faith, because I'm not letting them poison you against me. They can't, Mom. I see right through them. What do you mean? Grandma Veronica keeps talking about how Dad deserves better, but she doesn't know I heard her on the phone with someone yesterday. She was laughing about how easy it was to convince Dad to leave you. My blood ran cold. What exactly did she say? She said the plan worked perfectly, that you never saw it coming. Jerome's office felt like a war room. Legal documents covered every surface, and Faith sat in the corner chair, still shaken from our escape from Starbucks. Emergency custody hearing is set for tomorrow morning, Jerome said, hanging up his phone. Judge Martinez is taking this seriously, especially with the emotional abuse allegations. What about Pierce tracking Faith's phone? I asked. That's actually going to work in our favor. Surveillance of a minor without the other parent's consent? Not good for his case. Faith looked up from her homework. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. Who's Natalia, really? Jerome and I exchanged glances. What do you mean? She's not just some random woman Dad met. When they were fighting, she knew things about our family. Things from before I was born. Like what? She mentioned Uncle David's accident, but Uncle David died when I was 3. How would she know about that unless she's been watching our family for years, I finished. Jerome leaned forward. Faith, did you hear anything else about Natalia's father? She kept saying he was going to be furious if the plan didn't work, and that she was tired of pretending to care about Dad. Pretending? I felt a chill. Yeah, she said something like, I can't keep acting like I love him when all I want is to watch that witch burn. Which witch? Jerome asked. I think she meant Grandma Veronica. I stared at Faith. Are you sure? Pretty sure. She also said something about 20 years being a long time to wait for revenge. Jerome was already reaching for his phone. I'm calling Marcus. We need a private investigator on this. Jerome, I can't afford... Yes, you can. The house equity gives you plenty of collateral for a loan. He dialed. Marcus? It's Jerome. I need a full background check on someone named Natalia. Last name unknown, but she's involved with Pierce Wilkins. Yeah, the divorce case. While Jerome talked, Faith moved closer to me. Mum, there's something else. I found this in Dad's office. She pulled out a folded piece of paper. I was looking for my birth certificate for the custody hearing, and I found this in his filing cabinet. I unfolded it. It was a letter, handwritten in Veronica's careful script, dated 16 years ago. Pierce, I read aloud, I know you have doubts about the baby, but you must never let Gwendolyn know. What matters is that Faith believes you're her father. The truth would destroy everything we've built. The room went silent. Faith, I said carefully, where exactly did you find this? In a folder marked Personal V. There were other letters too, but I only took this one. Jerome finished his call and looked at the letter. Jesus Christ. What does it mean? Faith asked. I looked at my daughter, her dark hair, her green eyes, the way she tilted her head when she was thinking. All Pierce's features, or so I'd always thought. I don't know, sweetheart, but we're going to find out. Jerome's phone rang. Marcus, that was fast. What, are you sure? He grabbed a pen and started writing. Spell that last name. And the father's name is Raymond? Raymond Black? I felt the blood drain from my face. Raymond Black? You know that name? Jerome asked. Veronica mentioned him once, years ago. She said he was someone from her past who tried to ruin her reputation. Jerome was still on the phone. Marcus, I need everything you can find on Raymond Black and his connection to Veronica Wilkins. Yes, going back 20 years. He hung up and turned to us. Natalia's full name is Natalia Black. She's 27 years old, born in Chicago. Father is Raymond Black, a former business partner of Veronica's late husband. Veronica was married before Pierce's father? Faith asked. Apparently so, and according to Marcus's preliminary search, Raymond Black filed a lawsuit against Veronica in 2003 for embezzlement. The case was settled out of court. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. We need to talk. Meet me at the Riverside Diner on Oak Street at 8 p.m. Come alone. N. I showed the message to Jerome. Don't go, he said immediately. I have to. She has answers. It could be a trap, or it could be the break we need. I looked at Faith. Can you stay here with Jerome tonight? Mom, I don't want you to go alone. I'll be fine. I'll keep my phone on, and Jerome will know exactly where I am. Jerome sighed. If you're determined to do this, at least let me wire you for sound. Wire me? Voice recorder app on your phone. If she admits to anything, we'll have it on record. An hour later, I sat in my car outside the Riverside Diner, watching Natalia through the window. She looked nervous, checking her phone every few seconds. I walked in and slid into the booth across from her. Thank you for coming, she said. Start talking. My father sent me to destroy Veronica, but I never expected to actually like Pierce or to feel guilty about what we're doing to Faith. What exactly are you doing to Faith? Natalia's hands shook as she reached for her coffee. My father has been planning this for 20 years, ever since Veronica stole his business and left him with nothing. And you're his weapon. I was supposed to be. But now... She looked up at me. Now I think you and I might want the same thing, which is to watch Veronica burn. Natalia slid a manila envelope across the table. Everything you need to know about Veronica is in here. I didn't touch it. Why would you help me? Because I'm tired of being my father's puppet, and because Veronica destroyed more than just his business. She took a shaky breath. She destroyed my mother, too. Your mother? Sarah Black. She worked for Veronica's first husband's company. When my father discovered Veronica was embezzling, my mother was the accountant who helped him gather evidence. What happened to her? Veronica made sure she could never work in accounting again, spread rumors that she was the one stealing. My mother couldn't find work anywhere in the city. Natalia's voice cracked. She killed herself when I was 7. I stared at her. I'm sorry. My father raised me on stories about Veronica. How evil she was, how she needed to pay. He spent 20 years planning this revenge. And Pierce was just collateral damage? Pierce was the perfect target. Weak, easily manipulated, desperate for his mother's approval. She laughed bitterly. It was almost too easy to make him fall for me. I opened the envelope. Bank statements, legal documents, photographs. What am I looking at? Proof that Veronica has been stealing from Pierce for years. She has power of attorney over his accounts, and she's been transferring money to offshore accounts in her name. How much money? Over $300,000. Money that should have gone to Faith's college fund, to your family's savings. I flipped through the documents. How did you get these? Veronica trusts me. She thinks I'm the perfect daughter-in-law. She gave me access to Pierce's home office to help with family finances. Natalia smiled coldly. She has no idea I've been copying everything. What about the Cayman Islands accounts Jerome mentioned? Those are Pierce's. He's been hiding money from you for years, just like his mother taught him. She pulled out another folder. But he doesn't know about Veronica's accounts. She's been stealing from him too. I studied a bank statement dated 3 months ago. This shows a transfer of $50,000 to an account in Veronica's name. Money Pierce thought was going to Faith's college fund. Jesus. There's more. Veronica has been forging Pierce's signature on loan documents. She took out a second mortgage on your house without telling him. That's impossible. I would have seen the paperwork. Not if she had it sent to a P.O. box. Natalia handed me a key. Box 247 at the post office on Elm Street. She's been intercepting mail for months. My phone buzzed. Jerome was texting. Everything okay? I typed back. Still talking, getting good intel. There's something else, Natalia said. About Faith. My blood went cold. What about Faith? The letter she found? About Pierce not being her father? What about it? It's not true. Veronica wrote it to mess with Pierce's head, to make him doubt you. She wanted him to think you cheated. But why would she? Because she knew if Pierce ever suspected Faith wasn't his, he'd demand a paternity test. And when it came back positive, he'd realize his mother was lying about everything else too. I felt dizzy. So Faith is Pierce's daughter? Yes. But Veronica planted that letter knowing Pierce would find it eventually. She wanted to destroy his trust in you completely. That's sick. That's Veronica. Natalia leaned forward. She's been playing psychological games with your family for years. The constant criticism, the way she undermines you in front of Pierce, the way she turns him against you, it's all calculated. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm done being her weapon and because I want to make a deal with you. What kind of deal? I testify against Veronica and Pierce in court. I give you everything I have on their financial crimes. In exchange, you protect me from my father. Protect you how? He's going to be furious when he finds out I'm switching sides. He's not a stable man, Gwendolyn. He's been obsessed with revenge for 20 years. What do you want me to do about it? Let me testify under your lawyer's protection. Help me disappear after the trial. I have some money saved. I can start over somewhere else. I looked at the documents spread across the table. This is enough to destroy them both. It's enough to get you everything you want. Full custody of Faith, complete ownership of the house, and criminal charges against both Pierce and Veronica. What about your father? What happens when he realizes his plan failed? Natalia's face went pale. That's what I'm afraid of. He's been waiting 20 years for this moment. If he thinks I betrayed him, he'll come after you. He'll come after all of us. You, me, Faith, anyone he thinks got in his way. I gathered the documents. I need to show these to Jerome. There's one more thing. Natalia reached into her purse and pulled out a small recording device. I've been recording my conversations with Veronica for months. She admits to everything on here. The embezzlement, the psychological manipulation, even her plans to make sure you never see Faith again. She said that? She said she'd rather see Pierce lose custody to the state than let Faith live with you. I took the recorder. When do you want to meet with Jerome? Tomorrow morning, before the custody hearing. She stood up. Gwendolyn, I know I don't deserve your trust, but I'm trying to do the right thing now. Why should I believe you? Because we both want the same thing. We want Veronica to pay for what she's done. I watched her walk away, then sat in my car for a long time, staring at the evidence that would change everything. My phone rang. Jerome. How did it go? We're going to win, I said. We're going to win everything. The next morning, Jerome's office looked like a crime scene investigation. Documents covered every surface, and Natalia sat across from us, looking like she hadn't slept. Before we go to court, Jerome said, I need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Natalia, tell me about your father. Raymond Black. He's 58, lives in Chicago, and he's been planning this revenge for 20 years. She pulled out her phone. He calls me every day for updates. What kind of updates? How close I am to Pierce. What I've learned about Veronica's finances when the divorce will be final. She showed us her call log. 17 calls yesterday alone. What happens when he finds out you're switching sides? I asked. He'll lose his mind. He's already unstable. Last month he showed up at my apartment with a gun, ranting about how Veronica needed to pay for what she did to my mother. Jerome leaned forward. He threatened you with a gun? He wasn't threatening me. He was showing me what he planned to do to Veronica if I failed. Jesus Christ. Jerome grabbed his phone. I'm calling the police. No, Natalia grabbed his arm. You can't. If he gets arrested now, he'll know I betrayed him. He has friends, people who would come after me. So what do you suggest? Let me testify today. Get Veronica and Pierce convicted. Then I disappear before my father realizes what happened. That's not a long-term solution, I said. It's the only solution I have. Jerome's phone rang. It's the courthouse. We need to be there in an hour. He looked at Natalia. Are you ready for this? As ready as I'll ever be. What about Pierce? Does he know you're testifying against him? He thinks I'm testifying for him. He asked me to lie about how much time I spend with Faith, to make it look like I'm already a mother figure. And Veronica? She's convinced I'm going to destroy you in court. She spent an hour last night coaching me on what to say. We gathered our documents and headed to the courthouse. In the parking lot, I saw Pierce's car. He was sitting inside, talking on his phone. There's my father, Natalia said quietly. I looked where she was pointing. A tall man with graying hair stood near the courthouse steps, watching Pierce's car. He followed you here? He follows me everywhere. He doesn't trust me to finish the job. What job, exactly? Destroying Veronica's reputation, getting Pierce arrested for fraud, and making sure you lose custody of Faith. Why would he want me to lose custody? Because he knows it would destroy you. And destroying you would hurt Veronica, since she hates you so much. We walked into the courthouse, and I felt Raymond's eyes on us the entire time. The custody hearing was brutal. Pierce's lawyer painted me as an unstable woman who'd abandoned her child and was now trying to manipulate the system for money. Then Natalia took the stand. Miss Black, Jerome began, how long have you known Pierce Wilkins? 8 months. And how did you meet? My father sent me to seduce him as part of a revenge plot against his mother. The courtroom erupted. Pierce's lawyer jumped up. Objection. This is completely irrelevant to... Overruled, Judge Martinez said. I want to hear this. Miss Black, please explain this revenge plot. My father, Raymond Black, was Veronica's business partner 20 years ago. She embezzled money from their company and framed my mother for the theft. My mother killed herself because of the scandal. I watched Pierce's face go white. So, your relationship with Mr. Wilkins was never genuine? No, I was instructed to make him fall in love with me, then convince him to divorce his wife and turn against his mother. But something changed? Yes, I realized Veronica was also stealing from Pierce. She's been embezzling from his accounts for years. Jerome handed her the bank statements. Can you identify these documents? These show transfers from Pierce's accounts to offshore accounts controlled by Veronica. Over $300,000. Pierce stood up. That's impossible. My mother would never— Mr. Wilkins, sit down, the judge ordered. Miss Black, do you have recordings of conversations with Mrs. Veronica Wilkins? Yes. Natalia pulled out the recording device. She admits to the embezzlement and to her plans to ensure Faith never lives with her mother. The judge listened to the recording. Veronica's voice filled the courtroom. I don't care what it takes. That woman will never raise my granddaughter. I'd rather see Pierce lose custody to the state. Miss Black, why are you testifying against the people you were supposed to help? Because I'm tired of being used for revenge. And because Faith deserves to be with her mother. After the hearing, we waited in the hallway for the judge's decision. Pierce sat alone, staring at the floor. Veronica was nowhere to be seen. Where's your mother? I asked him. She left, said she couldn't watch me destroy the family. Pierce, did you know about the money? He looked up at me with hollow eyes. I thought she was helping me manage my finances. I trusted her. She's been stealing from you for years. I know that now. He stood up. Gwen, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I know. But I want you to know that I never meant for it to go this far. The bailiff called us back into the courtroom. After reviewing the evidence, Judge Martinez said, I'm awarding full custody of Faith to her mother, Gwendolyn. Furthermore, I'm ordering an investigation into the financial crimes alleged against both Mr. Wilkins and Mrs. Veronica Wilkins. I felt my knees buckle with relief. But as we left the courthouse, I saw Raymond Black standing by his car, staring at Natalia with pure rage in his eyes. He knows, she whispered. Jerome, we need protection for Natalia. Already on it. I've got a safe house arranged. But Raymond was walking toward us, his hand inside his jacket. Run, Natalia said. Run now. Security, Jerome shouted as Raymond approached us. 2 courthouse guards immediately moved toward him. Raymond stopped, his hands still inside his jacket, eyes locked on Natalia. You betrayed me. Dad, please. 20 years. 20 years I planned this and you threw it away for what? For him? He gestured at Pierce, who was backing away slowly. I threw it away because it was wrong, Natalia said. Mom wouldn't have wanted this. Don't you dare talk about your mother. Raymond's voice echoed through the courthouse lobby. She died because of that woman. The security guards flanked him. Sir, we need you to remove your hand from your jacket. Where is she? Raymond demanded. Where's Veronica? Sir, last warning. Raymond slowly pulled his hand out, revealing a folded envelope. I came here to give her this. 20 years of evidence. Every crime she committed, every life she destroyed. One of the guards took the envelope. You need to leave the premises now. This isn't over, Raymond said, looking at Natalia. You think you can just walk away from this? From me? Yes, I do. Natalia's voice was steady. I'm done being your weapon. You're my daughter. You owe me. I don't owe you anything. You used Mom's death to turn me into someone I'm not. Raymond's face twisted with rage. You're just like her. Weak. Pathetic. No, Natalia said quietly. I'm finally strong enough to stop you. The guards escorted Raymond out, but I could see him through the windows, pacing in the parking lot, talking on his phone. We need to get out of here, Jerome said. Now. What about Faith? I asked. She's at school. I'll have someone pick her up and bring her to the safe house. Safe house? Natalia's not the only one in danger. If Raymond blames you for ruining his plan— Pierce stepped forward. I'll go with you. No, I said immediately. Gwen, please, I know I screwed up, but Faith is my daughter too. If she's in danger because of your family, because of your mother. I know that, but let me help fix it. Jerome checked his phone. We have a problem. Veronica's not at the house. What do you mean? I sent someone to serve her with the fraud charges. The house is empty. Looks like she left in a hurry. Where would she go? Natalia spoke up. She has a cabin in the mountains, about 2 hours north. She mentioned it once when she was drunk. Why would she go there? Because she knows what's coming. The investigation, the charges, the public humiliation. Natalia looked at the envelope the guard had taken from her father. And because she knows my father has enough evidence to destroy her completely. Jerome's phone rang. It's the school. Faith's not there. My blood went cold. What do you mean she's not there? She was picked up an hour ago by her grandmother. No, I grabbed Jerome's arm. Veronica has Faith. We're calling the police, Jerome said, already dialing. Wait. Pierce pulled out his phone. I can track her. I put a GPS app on Faith's phone, remember? He pulled up the app. A red dot showed Faith's location moving north on Highway 9. She's heading toward the mountains, Natalia said, toward the cabin. Why would Veronica take Faith there? I asked. Because she's desperate, Pierce said. She knows she's going to prison. She probably thinks if she has Faith, she can negotiate some kind of deal. Or she's planning to run, Jerome added. Take Faith and disappear. She won't hurt Faith, Pierce said, but his voice was shaky. She loves Faith. She loves controlling Faith, I corrected. There's a difference. The police arrived and took our statements. Detective Morrison, a tired-looking woman in her 50s, listened to everything. So, we have a kidnapping, embezzlement, fraud, and a potentially dangerous man with a 20-year grudge, she summarized. This is a mess. Can you find them? I asked. We're tracking the phone signal, but if they're heading into the mountains, we might lose the signal. I know where the cabin is, Natalia said. I can take you there. Absolutely not, Detective Morrison said. You're staying here where it's safe. Faith is in danger because of my family's vendetta. Let me help fix this. The answer is no. Pierce stepped forward. What if I go? Veronica trusts me. I might be able to talk her into letting Faith go. She just found out you're being investigated for fraud, I said. She doesn't trust you anymore. Then what do we do? Detective Morrison's radio crackled. We've got the location, cabin on Deer Creek Road, but there's a problem. What kind of problem? Raymond Black is already there. Neighbors reported seeing him break into the cabin about an hour ago. Before Veronica arrived? Yes, he's waiting for her. I felt sick. Faith is walking into a trap. We're sending a tactical team, Detective Morrison said, but it'll take time to get them up there. How much time? 2 hours, maybe 3. Faith doesn't have 3 hours. Pierce grabbed my arm. I'm going up there. Pierce, no. She's my daughter, Gwen. I'm not sitting here while she's in danger. You'll get yourself killed. Maybe, but I can't live with myself if something happens to her and I didn't try to stop it. Jerome looked at Detective Morrison. What if we go with him, as backup? I can't authorize civilians. You can't stop us either, I said. That's my daughter up there. Detective Morrison sighed. If you're determined to do this, you follow my lead. No heroics, no confrontations. We assess the situation and wait for backup. Agreed, I said. I'm coming too, Natalia said. No way. My father is up there with a gun and 20 years of rage. You need someone who knows how he thinks. Detective Morrison looked at all of us. This is the worst idea I've ever heard. But you're going to let us do it? I'm going to try to keep you all alive while we save your daughter. We piled into 2 cars and headed north, racing against time and a madman's revenge. The cabin sat in a clearing surrounded by pine trees, looking deceptively peaceful in the afternoon sun. Veronica's car was parked out front, but there was no sign of Raymond's vehicle. He'd probably parked somewhere else and hiked in, Detective Morrison whispered into her radio. We're going to approach from the back. Through the trees, I could see movement in the cabin's front window, Faith's silhouette, then Veronica's. They're both alive, Pierce said quietly. For now, Natalia added. My father's been planning this confrontation for 20 years. He won't let it end peacefully. We crept closer. Detective Morrison had her gun drawn, and I could hear her backup units coordinating over the radio. Still 40 minutes out. There, Jerome pointed to a side window. I can see Raymond. He's sitting in a chair facing the door. He's waiting for them to try to leave, Natalia said. Classic ambush position. Can you hear what they're saying? We moved closer to the window. Veronica's voice carried clearly. Faith, sweetheart, we're going to take a little trip. Just you and Grandma. I want to go home, Faith said. I want my mom. Your mother doesn't want you anymore. She's too busy with her new life to care about you. That's not true. Of course it's true. Why do you think she let that awful woman testify against your father? She's trying to destroy our family. From inside, Raymond's voice. Still lying to children, I see. I heard Veronica gasp. Who's there? How did you get in? The same way I got into your office 20 years ago. The same way I got into your bank accounts. The same way I got into your son's life. You're Raymond Black. Very good. I wasn't sure you'd remember me. What do you want? Justice. For my wife. For my daughter. For everyone you've destroyed. Faith's voice, scared. Grandma, who is this man? Nobody, sweetheart. Just a confused old man. I'm the father of the woman your grandmother sent to seduce your father, Raymond said. The woman who's been recording every conversation, documenting every crime. Natalia works for you? Veronica's voice was shaking. Worked. Past tense. She's developed a conscience, unfortunately. Detective Morrison motioned for us to stay back, but I could see Pierce tensing, ready to rush in. What do you want from me? Veronica asked. I want you to admit what you did. To my wife, to your son, to that woman you've been tormenting for 15 years. I don't know what you're talking about. Sarah Black, my wife, your accountant, the woman who discovered you were embezzling from your husband's company. That was 20 years ago. And you destroyed her life, made sure she could never work again, drove her to suicide. That wasn't my fault. Wasn't it? You spread rumors that she was the thief. You had her blacklisted from every accounting firm in the city. Faith's voice. Grandma, is this true? Of course not, sweetheart. This man is delusional. Then explain these. I heard papers rustling. Bank records, forged signatures, evidence of every crime you've committed. You can't prove anything. I don't have to. Your son's wife already has. The FBI is probably searching your house right now. Through the window, I saw Veronica sink into a chair. This is all Gwendolyn's fault. She turned Pierce against me. No, Raymond said. You did that yourself, just like you turned my daughter against me. Where is Natalia? Probably in witness protection by now. Smart girl, smarter than I gave her credit for. You used your own daughter for revenge? The same way you used your son. The same way you're using that child right now. Faith spoke up. I'm not a child, I'm 16. And I know what you've been doing, Grandma. Faith, you don't understand. I understand that you've been lying about Mom. I understand that you stole Dad's money. I understand that you've been manipulating everyone. I was protecting our family. You were destroying it. Detective Morrison's radio crackled. Units in position, ready to move on your signal. But before she could respond, we heard Faith's voice again. Mr. Black, you don't have to do this. My mom won't let Grandma hurt anyone else. Your mother can't stop her. The system can't stop her. She's been getting away with this for 20 years. But if you hurt her, you'll go to prison, and then who wins? There was a long silence. Your daughter would be proud of you for stopping, Faith continued, for choosing to be better than the people who hurt you. You don't know anything about my daughter. I know she chose to do the right thing, even when it was hard, even when it meant going against you. Another silence, then. You're very wise for 16. I learned from my mom. She taught me that revenge doesn't fix anything. It just creates more pain. Your grandmother deserves to pay for what she's done. She will, but not like this. I heard a chair scraping, then Raymond's voice. You're right. Sarah would want me to be better than this. She would. But I can't let Veronica walk away from this. She won't. My mom made sure of that. Detective Morrison gave the signal. The tactical team moved in through the front door while we approached from the back. FBI, nobody move. Through the chaos, I saw Faith run toward the back door. I caught her in my arms as she burst outside. Mom, you came for me. Of course I came for you. I'll always come for you. Pierce was right behind us. Faith, are you okay? Did they hurt you? I'm fine, Dad, but Grandma's not well. She really believes the things she's been saying. Inside, we could hear Veronica being read her rights. Raymond didn't resist when they handcuffed him. What happens now? Faith asked. Now we go home, I said. To our real home, the one we're going to build together. What about Dad? I looked at Pierce. Your father has some things to work through, but he'll always be your father. And Natalia? Natalia gets a chance to start over, just like all of us. As we walked back to the cars, Faith took my hand. Mom, I'm sorry I doubted you. You didn't doubt me when it mattered most. I love you. I love you too, sweetheart, more than you'll ever know. Behind us, the cabin that had held so much pain and secrets was finally empty. The truth had won, just like I'd always believed it would. Justice isn't always about revenge. Sometimes it's about building something better from the ashes of what was broken, and that's exactly what we were going to do.